Hi everybody and welcome back to the channel today. So today I thought I'd talk about Rachel Reeves, and the argument is Rachel Reeves, a Labour MP but truly really a Conservative. So is she a Tory in red basically at the end of the day? Now I've said for many years there's not really much difference between the Conservative and the Labour Party. They're basically the same party. The only real difference is one's in red, one's in blue. That's the only real difference. Okay. Now, the reason why I'm going to ask this question is Laura Kuenssberg, the political editor for the BBC, wrote a column in a newspaper. And basically what she's actually said, and it's quite interesting what she said, and I'll read it out for you. She said, Labour Chancellor Rachel Reeves is suddenly in a rush and sounding more like a Conservative minister. Okay, writing for BBC In Depth, Laura Kuenssberg suggested Reeves has made a big shift in tone and policy focus in recent weeks with plans that appear to align more closely with traditional Tory ideas. Okay. And she suggested that Rachel Reeves has been pushing to get rid of barriers for business, ease restrictions on wealthy non-doms, and even approve new airport runways such as at Heathrow. She has also pointed out that Reeves intends to cut back on welfare spending, streamline planning rules, and moves that Kuenssberg said bear little resemblance to the Labour Chancellor's budget in October, which focused on raising taxes and increasing spending on public services. Now, taking all that into account, what she said, is she correct? Well, in a way, she is correct. Now, I'll try and take each point that she's made separately. So, saying that she's pushing to get rid of barriers for business. No different to what the Labour Party did under Tony Blair. Tony Blair supported business, especially the bankers. Obviously, look what happened. And obviously, with the mess that they're in at the moment, interest rates rising, they're not falling or anything. The economy's not really growing. So if they want to be a successful government and make people better off, because that's what they said they were going to do, judge us on how wealthy you feel come the next election, they need to align themselves with business or they won't be in power after the next election. So that's that one done. Okay, what have we got next? Ease restrictions on wealthy non-doms. Well, obviously they put restrictions on. I'm actually going to just ignore it because it's a ridiculous one. Okay, because until you actually know what restrictions are actually going to do, it's hard to really say. Now, when it comes to new airport runways at Heathrow Airport, it was obviously announced the other day that they were going to ease restrictions when it comes to planning rules, because at the moment, if, say, for instance, they want to build a new power station, for instance, somewhere in the country, and the local residents or anybody rich or anything like that wants to challenge it and they don't want it built there or anything, they can take the government to court or the people that are planning on building it 3 times. And as Keir Starmer basically said, it's ridiculous because all that does is slows it down, it costs money, and potentially it can affect the economy as well, because the easiest way to get out of problems like we've got at the moment is building on infrastructure and all that type of thing. So in a way, they're actually right to do it. It's a problem that's happened for a long time. So there is the potential that it is something that needs to happen at the end of the day. Okay, especially if you're going to, do work at Heathrow or any other airport. To be honest, there's probably lots of airports that need work done on their runways and everything. Now, the big one, when she talks about the last budget. Now, the reality is, if you really want to look at some of the main differences between Conservatives and Labour, and this is what I've always said, Labour stand for big government, tax increases, welfare spending. Conservatives are the exact opposite. Okay, now what did she do? She spent big, increased welfare spending. So they're actually Labour things at the end of the day. Now, if she is going to try reverse it, because they have said that they're going to cut welfare spending, that makes them look like Tories at the end of the day. That makes them look like Conservatives. Doing the Conservatives a favour. People are going to be saying, why am I voting for the Labour Party? All they're doing is making the poor poorer. They're not getting any poorer. You've got Prime Minister who's a millionaire. You've got Rachel Reeves is pretty well off. Most of the front bench of the Labour Party are going to be pretty well off. I'm not going to say that they're all millionaires or anything, because I've got no evidence to back that up. So the question is, are the Labour Party just red Conservatives? So that's the question I'm going to put out, because I've believed it for many years, and people I know, I've always said the same. When it, before you had reform, I said you basically had two choices: you vote Conservative or you vote Liberal Democrat. Because if you vote Labour, you're voting Conservative anyway. So let us know what you think in the comments down below. But for now, thanks for listening, and we'll speak to you again a bit later.